A rough day of travel now has Atlanta-based Delta Airlines facing an expensive lawsuit. A family from New Mexico claims that they were bitten by bed bugs during a flight. They reportedly found the bugs crawling on their clothes in March during their second flight of the day from Atlanta to Amsterdam. A Dutch airline who operated the flight is also named in that lawsuit. The family is seeking $200,000 in damages. And the travel troubles don't end there. We're taking a live look at the world's busiest airport right now, Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, where a Delta flight was forced to turn back soon after takeoff due to an engine issue. Delta confirming that the plane was headed from Jacksonville, Florida, when crew members discovered the problem yesterday afternoon. Nearly 200 passengers had been on board at the time. Delta brought in a new plane, which took off more than 5 hours late.